How is it going, everybody? Hope you're all having a wonderful summer. Quite few news coming in from the great gaming industry, you know. We all know Bandai Namco, right? The multi-billion multinational video game company that owns, publishes, and develops many high-tier games. Their history is filled with great games that are a big part of our life, childhood, and maybe currently, they have multiple Game of the Year candidates. Now, being such a massive conglomerate, you would think that Bandai has some pride into their products, or at least hire engineers and designers that are somewhat competent and know what they are doing. However, Bandai does not care about anything that they got a license on. Sure, Miyazaki and From Software are owning the world right now with their games, and guess what? Bandai is making mad moolah of their backs. Harada and his Tekken team are also doing great with the Tekken franchise. Whoop! Once again, Bandai is stacking their cash off their backs. So now Bandai got millions of billions of dollars to hire developers and invest into their licensed IPs. And lo and behold, what do? An absolute pile of dog shit. You hire a new studio that has no history in making AAA games, especially licensed ones. Spike Chunsoft is a 40-year-old studio printing out some, banger games like the Nonary games and Danganronpa, but they have absolutely no experience with AAA games or any kind of arena fighting games. Like the average score of an arena fighter made by Spike Chunsoft is like a wobbly 5, and 2 of those were literally the crossover of every anime ever. Like, imagine characters from One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto, fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, every big anime that was ever made. Imagine characters from every big anime was in those games, and those games flopped hard. But I have to give mad props to Chunsoft. Like, you coning Bandai for however money sparkingzero costs is some Chad moves. Get your money up, king. You know what I mean? Bandai then proceeds to take My Hero Academia IP and give it to Viking, the studio which probably has the biggest promise regarding like arena fighters. For anyone that doesn't know or doesn't remember what an absolute of a god tier of a game Rise of the Incarnate was, this was the studio that made it. Like, Viking was the studio that made Rise of the Incarnates, and that game was mad fun. And now Viking gets their hand at a popular IP, and somehow they make it happen. This is, by the way, this is the whole team of Viking. Like, this is the whole studio. These, 13 people? Maybe few that are not present right now, but like 13 people is the whole studio that made My Hero Ultra Rumble. That has 2,000 concurrent and 46 all-time peak players. Like, that is insane for such a small studio. And after doing that, also side note, if you guys are, if anybody from Viking, this video somehow gets to you, please bring back Rise of the Incarnate somehow. Just make it available online or offline rather. I don't, please, I love that game too much. Thank you. And so while these 13 people were doing their absolute best to support Ultra Rumble, Bandai dropped on them a banger tweet, aka make a Jujutsu Kaisen game. Well, these people these people had time to develop a new game while maintaining a live service game. Like, come on. So Curse Clash turned out the way it did, and bada bing, bada boom. Both sides are to blame, honestly, but I think mostly the blame falls on Bandai. I don't think Viking should have accepted the challenge or whatever their thought process was. They just needed to focus on Ultra Rumble and keep that path fixed. But back to the main antagonist of the video game industry, Bandai, you are absolute morons. Like, you bring zero progress in the video game industry. You are the equivalent of landlords waiting for the rent from their tenants. Like, if video games were the host, you are the leeches attached to its leg, just sucking blood, getting fatter and fatter from doing absolutely nothing. But the point of this video is not to flame what what Bandai have done in the past, but to spread the word about their future failures. Or probably not, but let's be fucking real. They're not gonna get a decent game. Let me give you some context before I get heated about where this beef with Bandai comes from, okay? Back in 2018, Bandai teamed up with ArcSys and released Dragon Ball FighterZ. Oh, you have probably mostly heard or at least seen this game, as it was the hottest fighting game at the time, and 60 years later it's still the most electrifying game to watch and play. If you fire up Dragon Ball right now, you have hard time guessing its age, since ArcSys went above and beyond with the graphics and they stayed true to the manga and the anime. It is literally the closest thing to a perfect Dragon Ball game. And after 5+ years of co-developing, exchanging secrets with ArcSys, learning from their processes and development, Bandai finally are ready to venture into the world and take most biggest, stinkiest, nastiest dump on two great franchises that they own. sparkingzero is the new installment of the Budokai Tenkaichi series, but thank God they're not using the Tenkaichi name, because this is straight up the biggest choke in the industry ever since Overwatch 2 dropped. If I was Epic Games and I saw this, I am revoking their license for Unreal Engine 5. These visual effects were not made just so clay-looking characters can abuse them like this. But don't worry, lad, because that is not all. In the classic Bandai experience, dabbling down on the worst possible decisions, Bandai has released a gameplay trailer of a new anime fighter. This time kneecapping, like TN did Yamcha, another great franchise like Bleach. I don't know how you managed to reach this kind of washed up, low effort graphics when you literally had the gods of anime fighters showing you how to do it. But you know what? God bless. I know this video will not bring any changes to the audience, since Bleach fans are literally hungry for any kind of content about their franchise, and Dragon Ball fans just don't care at this point. I just wanted to vent out. Yeah, that's it. Bye.